Panthers gave the Rams all they could handle in that wild card playoff game. One play they had a lot of success with in that game was an RPO off of Duo. Duo, a strong side, double team, run, RPO, run pass option off of that play. So I'll draw it up really quick. They're going to go in fast motion here. The pass option side going to be the quarterback's left every time. Probably just a comfort level thing for Bryce Young throwing this to his left. He is the flat route. They're going to have a controlled slant route here by McMillan, who ends up being the slot receiver on the move. This controlled slant typically shows up only on RPOs, and you'll see how it looks different from any other slant here in just a second. Duo up front. Tight end's always got the defensive end. We're going to get double teams on the interior to these interior linebacker spots. Tackle responsible for that weak side defensive end. They're going to bring this receiver across. They're going to slap him across the ball. Slap being a generic term, slicing for the alley player. Offenses I've been in, slice brings you across the ball, typically for a defensive end. But now we say for the alley player means you're going to block a secondary support player. Somebody else has that end. Slice SL, alley player AP. Slicing for an alley player is a slap. Now, I'm sure every team in the league has a different term for that, or something that's more generally accepted, slap just being the term we use. And you'll see back out of the pistol, going to come downhill on the quarterback's left, even though it is technically a run to that right side A gap. So here on the move, receiver coming across, you'll see quarterback throws this short slant. So what is he reading on this RPO? Now, we are not members of the Carolina Panthers, so we have to make some educated guesses as to what they're doing. I could be very much confidently incorrect in what I'm about to tell you, but I firmly believe, based on the evidence in this game, is that this is a pre-snap read, and they're going to read the box. How many defenders are in the box pre-snap? And if it's 7, they're going to throw it. And if it's 6, they're going to hand it off. Right here, clear-cut 7-man box. Now you're saying they've got 7 blockers. They've got the 5 linemen. They got the tight end, and they got the slapper coming across. Yes, but what I think they're looking at is they're saying if it's a 7-man box, we believe that this guy is the flat defender. And so we're going to put him in conflict by running a guy, let's draw that again, by running a guy to the flat and running this controlled slant. We know he's going to react downhill. He is the B-gap defender. This is a run play coming downhill. He has to react to it. So now we can read this guy. If he takes away the flat, we throw the controlled slant. If he hangs here and takes away the slant, we throw the flat. Right here, 7-man box, flat defender widens, throws the slant, explosive 16-yard gain. Let's take a look at another rep. Again to the offense's left. Now nickel leaves. All right, but we still have the 7-man box. This time the under front. We've got safety down to that strong side. Bryce Young says, hey, I'm going to throw it. All right, now, just like I told you a second ago, they're going to read this flat defender, and how does he react? Well, shoot, he's not there. He leaves. It's some sort of too high pressure, right? It looks like they're bringing the Sam and the Mike. Typically, when you bring the Sam and the Mike, you're getting a loop by the defensive line, and this guy is a dropper. We're not seeing the loopers up front on that defensive line, or at least from this 3 technique, not seeing him or feeling him loop out. He might be pop contained. He might engage and then late loop in the down. So my guess is going to be that this guy is the flat defender, or he's going to be the guy who's supposed to drop here inside of number 2. Not necessarily the flat, in this too high look, but the guy who's supposed to drop inside of 2. Well, he's getting this run read right in front of him. No chance is he going to make it there. Again, could be wrong about that, but that's what I believe is happening here based on how this blitz traditionally plays out. Nobody over that controlled slant, puts it on him, another explosive 10-plus yard gain there for McMillan. Now let's take a look at some handoffs. 37 in the box to start, moving out, 6-man box, going to hand it off. Now they do blitz to a 7-man box. This backer hits it, safety replaces him, but post-snap, becoming a 7-man box, Bryce Young has already made up his mind, going to take some of the gray out of it. Anytime you're truly reading anything, it becomes gray. Decisions have to be made on the fly, and there's a chance to be wrong. Well, he says, hey, this is clearly a six-man box, pre-snap. I'm handing this off. Let's see what we can get. You can't go wrong handing it off typically. So from behind, they've got an under front now. They're going to be out on this backside on the 3 and the 5. Ace block up to the backside linebacker spot. 72 coming up to the front side linebacker. Tight end has the defensive end. Slap coming for the safety who's going to show up. Now, you see a lot more RPOs when you're watching college football than when you're watching the NFL. A big reason for that is the rules that apply to offensive linemen. In the NFL, these linemen can only be 1 yard downfield when that ball is completed. If they're any further downfield, it's going to be an illegal man downfield, 5-yard penalty, march it back. So they have to be much more under control if they're coming off, especially in this situation here. If you're coming straight into the second level of the defense, you can't just go there now. You will get called for the penalty 10 times out of 10 in the I shouldn't say that. 8 times out of 10 in the NFL. So when they first started running RPOs in the NFL or first started running them in volume, a lot of them came off of outside zone. Everything working fast and flat to the perimeter limited the amount that these linemen were working up early in the down. Teams have gotten much better at running them off of gap schemes, any scheme that is an outside zone, this being an example of it. So take a look, just a little bit of patience by this tackle. Good job, kind of picks it up, puts it down before he starts working to his spot. Now this backer does him a little bit of a favor by coming downhill, so he's able to go to him right now, so he won't be too far downfield, won't draw a penalty if it is a throw, but the Rams blitzing, turning it into a bear front on the fly. Good job by this blitzing linebacker. Shocks the guard who's looking to get that ace block. Ends up in the hole, making the play. Still a positive play for the Panthers. 4 or 5 yards right there. Final rep of it in the game. Again, now let's take a look. 6-man box. This is going to be a handoff. That is just the corner outside. 6-man box going to hand off. Bryce Young hands it to that running back. He's punching it downhill. This is another big gain off this play. Now to the over front, or some teams you might call this an even front with this guy covering the guard instead of covering the center right here. I see it as kind of an over front in my eyes. Tight end always has the defensive end. Double team to that linebacker spot. Double team to the backside linebacker. Tackle on that weak side defensive end. Slapping across for the alley player, safety or corner, whoever wants to show up in the hole first. Now things don't go totally to plan. They get split by the defensive tackle on the front side double team. Really good displacement here. This ace block working to the backside creates a nice bubble for that running back to push it straight downhill right now. The guy who splits the double, unable to 68, wide body right there, can't get through him, trying his hardest to make it through 68. 68 just way too big to get through that body. Nice push. Great job finishing. Good job by the Panthers. RPO.